My name is Denise Stubbs, and I got started because of Millie. She hooked me up over Thanksgiving weekend and, told me what she was doing after watching her for probably 6 or 9 months of losing weight and looking fabulous. And we had our first workout a year ago Thanksgiving, and then the rest is history.
That's awesome. And how and when did you have your breakthrough?
I am still waiting for my big, giant breakthrough. I've had a lot of small ones from live last year and from going through coaching because Coach Jets is amazing. I'm still kind of waiting for my big, giant one, and maybe I won't have one. I don't know, but it doesn't matter because all the little tiny nuggets that, come to you in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep or just happen to be talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden your light bulb comes on and you're like, oh, that's why I do that. That's where that came from. Like just the other day, I was talking to my sisters, my results coaching sisters, and we were talking about, like a lot of my stuff is linked to my mom. Just that fear of trusting people. And that was one of the things that Jess has really helped me overcome is learning how to trust people again. And I didn't really realize it that I knew I had a wall up, but it was kind of like, there's me and then there's the fake me that we project onto other people of what we want them to see or what we think we want to be or the person that we think we are, but we don't really know who we are because we spent our whole lives hiding, trying to be somebody else so we don't get hurt. So that was one of the things Jess really helped me to be in a really safe environment so that I could, and it took me a while to come out. I was like, nope, not going to trust her. I don't believe anything she says. Whatever she says about me, she's just, I'm paying her to say that. I don't believe it. And it all just came, back from my mom. Everything stems back to my mom. Every time I think, okay, there's going to be something else going to be linked to something else. Like, nope, right back to my mom again. And my mom passed away quite a long time ago. So I never really got to, have that closure of, why did you make the choices you make? Why did you make the decisions that you did? Because it really affected me as a kid. And so that's one of the hard things is I've never had the closure to confront my mom and say, hey, how it's not cool when you did that. This is how it made me feel.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I know Millie shared a lot about your mom as well.
Yeah, she has a different mom. We have the same dad, different mom.
Oh, okay.
So, she came along years later. She was she's like 10, 15 years younger than me. So we didn't really get to bond in our younger, years because... Yeah. And even with me and her, God, if this comes out on camera, I've told her about it. Even with me and her, I resented her for a long time because she got to live with Dad and she got to be raised by Dad and she got to have Dad's attention, and I never did. My parents divorced when I was 2, and so I had Disneyland Dad. I went to Disneyland with Dad on summer vacation. I got the happy part of Dad, but only for a month a year. And she got to have him for a longer part. And so for the longest time, I was like, how dare you? You got Dad, I didn't. I hate you, And I didn't really know that I harbored that. And there was a long period of time we didn't talk. We weren't really friends. We didn't really like each other. So it's taken us. It's been a lot of repair, and a lot of it is really due to this program, honestly, because it makes you just. In finding out who you are and growing as a person, you learn to forgive yourself, you learn to forgive other people, and, just so you can make yourself better and your life better and your family tree better. And so, so we've just been able to repair all that and get back together.
So talk about that. What's been some of the biggest or single biggest revelation and thing that you've learned through this process?
Why do you ask all the hard questions?
Big bucks.
Oh, can you ask me that again?
Yeah, what have you learned?
What have I learned? Yeah, I'm still learning. Learned how to trust people again, learn how to trust myself, learn how to make better decisions, better educated decisions about nutrition, about, what's best for me, about how to forgive my mom, about, how to build better relationships with people. I think that's probably one of the biggest ones. And my emotional, my emotional well-being, my emotional education, my, just learning how to have, good, healthy relationships. Like you hear about it all the time, how to have a healthy relationship. But I think for so many of us, it's not really modeled for us growing up. And so we have no clue. Mm-hmm. We have no clue. Like we think we know what we want, but really we have no clue.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm glad I'm talking to you in particular, because I literally do tell girls about you on the phone. And I talk to a lot of ladies that some are gung-ho, let's do it. Some don't trust it. Some feel like they can't afford it. What do you tell someone who, if you're talking to them, you're talking to someone that wants coaching, needs coaching, but for some reason they're standing in their own way? What do you tell someone who's on that fence to get them over that hump?
Oh my goodness. You got to take a leap of faith. You have to. I mean, with anything, you have to take a leap of faith. I mean, for so long, we have, as women, and just, I know for me, like for so long, I didn't trust anybody. Because of, just my circumstances that I've had in my life, I've always had to rely on myself. Like that's just all there was. I'm pretty much was an only child, other than Millie, but like I said, we didn't grow up together. So it was just me. I'm all I had. And my mom was just not present as an adult. Great provider, great person, crappy parent. And that is one of the epiphanies that I had. Like I kind of put those things together, person and parent, but they're completely separate, and it's the same thing. Your parents project, tell the outside world what they want everyone else to see, or whatever. And then, when you're on the inside and you see all the little nitty gritty, the bones of the relationship, like there's nothing there a lot of times. So it was the same thing. Like you just got to take a leap of faith. You just do. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? If it doesn't work, you're right back where you're gonna be right back where you started.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So,
So I asked you the hard stuff. So put that aside.
All right.
What's been fun? What's been really enjoyable about this process?
Fun. Are we talking coaching or just LadyBoss?
Either one.
The connections for sure. The relationships that we've all been able to build. It's fun watching the growth of the business. It's fun. Because I have my own business, so I know how much work there is that goes into it. I know all the behind the scenes stuff that nobody sees, that people take for granted. I know how hard the grind is. I can definitely appreciate that aspect of it. It's pretty cool to be able to make friends and connect with people in other states that really, if it wasn't for LadyBoss, none of us would know anybody. Like, we would be stuck in our isolated world, stuck in the hurt, stuck in the bitterness, the resentment, the anger, and not having a way to get out of it, not knowing how to get out of it, other than medication or therapy, which has such a huge stigma against it too. So at least did for me. I felt weak if I was gonna take medication. I felt not worthy. I don't know. It wasn't the right road for me. Mm-hmm. So really, without being able to make the connections and talk to people and being able to meet people and to meet them in person, like this is the best part of it, is to be able to touch them and see them in person. And because with social media, Facebook, everything's so fake. It's ridiculous, and it's so hard to be able to know who's genuine and who's not. And so, for the most part, you're a LadyBoss, like, done. You're my best friend, like. And that's what's cool too, being able to come here and see people that have never seen each other before, never talked to each other, and you're just instantly connected. You're instant friends. Like, you just don't get that in the real world.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was so looking forward to meeting all of you. I didn't know you were going to be here in particular, but Denise, I really appreciate it. Appreciate you sharing your time, your experiences, and it'll help a lot of other ladies. So
I hope so. Like, I hope so, because it's definitely worth it. I mean, we're worth it. You know, I mean, all of us, we're all worth it. We all deserve bigger and better things, and there's no better avenue to be able to look for it than through LadyBoss.